Welcome to the best city hotel that we have ever stayed in.
There's a disturbing amount of pillows on this bed.
I have never slept in a circular bed before.
I think it's operator error.
Hotel 27 is located in the bustling Dam Square, probably the busiest place in all of Amsterdam, and it's easily accessible from both the Roken metro station and Amsterdam Central train station. The historic building dates back to 1916 when it was built for the Royal IGC, which is a local members club that still shares the space with the hotel to this day. It was awarded royal distinction and plays host to the Dutch royal family and businessmen and diplomats from all over the world. The IGC occupies the first 2 floors while the rest is dedicated to the hotel. The 3rd floor hosts the hotel dining venues and floors 4 to 6 are the guest suites. Upon walking in, we were immediately greeted by a friendly employee named Sammy and offered some bottled water. He escorted us across the rather tiny lobby to the check-in desk. Once we were checked in, Sammy called the elevator for us, which took us to our suite on the 4th floor. We were then seamlessly handed off to our butler, who showed us to our room. Now I will hand it over to Kevin to give you a detailed room tour.
Hello to what may be the best hotel room that we've stayed in so far inside of a city. We just checked into our 1-bedroom suite. Allow me to show you around. So if you follow me, when you first come in, you have a set of hangers and where you can put your coats. And then down here, you have this long, tall hallway, adorned on both sides with some red wallpaper, leading you straight into the large living room area. So there's 2 tables here. Here there's a menu as well as like hotel directory. They also gave us 2 welcome drinks of Oranginas, which I requested and I destroyed already. If you wanted champagne, they would give you champagne. We don't drink, so this is what we got. There's also a welcome letter, as well as I think 2 white chocolates here, which we'll eat at the end of this room tour. Over here on my right is the coffee and tea setup. So of course you have a really fancy Illy coffee machine. You have your cups, you have your room phone, as well as you have your coffee creamers and stuff like that, as well as tea bags here. You also have an ice bucket in the middle. Right below that is still the mini bar. This is like a water fridge. Right now there's 4 bottles of water, 2 sparkling, 2 still, and they refresh that twice a day, complimentary. They are 4 1-liter bottles, so every day you can get up to 8 liters of water, which is plenty for us. Below here on the first drawer are some extra glasses, as well as some paid for mini bar items such as chips, nuts, and chocolates. And the one below, this is your honest to goodness mini bar. So this has your soft drinks and stuff like that down here. And it's a fridge, of course, so it's cooled. Behind me, of course, is windows. And normally I don't need to point out the windows, but first off, the view outside our room overlooking the Dam Square is absolutely insane. And the other thing you need to know about this hotel, they're pretty well known for their attention to detail. And one of the big things that guests in the hotel also likes to talk about is that we're facing Dam Square, but it's so quiet. And the reason is because there's triple pane glass here insulating you from the noise outside. So if I'm standing here and I'm not to talk, you can barely even hear the AC. You can hear like a pin drop in the room. So it's a super nice feature to have, to be located in such a busy square, but feel completely on your own. But you're able to choose to be kind of involved and let in the hustle and bustle if you wanted to, as you can open this window and the outside window and to really let in the environment and the ambiance inside. Also in the living room, you'll find a sofa as well, of course, a TV with a soundbar attached to it. Next up is the bedroom. There's 1 king-size bed here. There's a disturbing amount of pillows on this bed. I'm sure these 5 are not usable. They're just for decorative. And honestly, as a pet peeve, I really hate these pillows because they always seem unclean. So I'm sure it's probably fine at this place, but again, personal preference, I don't really like having this and this either. Stuff like this just gets put on the ground and like, I mean, do they clean it after every time someone puts it on the ground? I don't know. Anyway, right in front of here is a hidden TV, which I'll show you in a bit. And then of course on each side, there is your bedside table, which is pretty large, and a controlling iPad, which controls stuff like your room temperature, the lighting, as well as the curtains if you want it. And then of course there's a writing pad and a mirror and some other knickknacks on each side. So the hidden TV is operated by this remote. So if you press one of the buttons, your TV lifts out of its case and it perfectly faces the bed again, which is a feature that we, again, absolutely love because it makes watching in bed so comfortable and it's a perfect experience to have. It's also pretty large, especially being so close to you. So, and it goes really high. I didn't expect it to go that high. But yeah, I mean, Dutch people are tall, so this is what happens when you're tall. And then of course you can close it by just pressing the other button. On either side of the TV, on each side of the bed, there is one medium-sized closet. It's not overly large, but there is two of them, as well as you saw that space in the beginning where we had our coats. So between the three of them, I think there's enough storage for your coats and jacket and stuff. So of course you have your hangers, you have your laundry box, you have your safe, and you have some extra pillows, which I'm assuming housekeeping is going to use for turn on service to swap out those other pillows. Last but not least, and another super impressive feature of this hotel is of course the bathroom. So when you first come in, you're just mesmerized by the white and the cleanliness and the minimalism of this bathroom. We've already started to wash our hands and stuff, so excuse the mess, but everything here looks absolutely immaculate. Like there's of course your dual vanity, your large oversized mirror, as well as of course lots of towels. They also supply you with a Dyson hairdryer, and the attention to detail even goes into the amenities where the female products are provided by Lalique and the men's products are provided by Lanvin. I'm not too familiar with Lanvin or Lalique, but the thing I know about Lalique is that that's the amenity that Singapore First Class uses. So that is the context in which I am judging this amenity product. Again, it's also amazing that they separate out by gender, showing some extra attention to detail. So coming up to here, of course you'll see your bathtub, but it's actually not just a bathtub, it's a jacuzzi. This is another point that I think is really important to bring up, is that this hotel is very classic and very traditional and kind of gives you an old school vibe. But there's stuff like this where like the jacuzzi, the shower that I'm gonna show you, the in-room controls, as well as like the raising up and down TV and stuff like that. This hotel has embraced technology and embraced it in a really great way where it's not overly intrusive, but it adds a great modern touch to your stay where it doesn't feel like you're hampered by being in a historic building or being in a traditional kind of hotel. So again, here right in front of me, you'll see the 3 bottles, or there's 6 bottles, 3 each from Lanvin and from Lalique. Right next to me over here is the shower, but you can see it's some kind of weird RGB gaming going on. It's actually just a panel that you can change here. You can change the light that you want in here. And the reason for that is because this is not just a shower. It's a very good one at that. There are 2 waterfall showers and 2 wands. So you can take a 2-person shower without having to worry about like water temperature or fighting over the water or who's in, who's out. So again, relatively small detail, but super comfortable, and it really shows you the attention and the detail that they're trying to cater towards the comfort of every guest. But not only is it a shower that you can probably fit 5 people, it also has a bench, but also the biggest party trick is this thing right here. So this actually turns the shower into a hammam. Our butler said that it took about 10 minutes to prepare. So that's something that we're 100% gonna try tonight. And we'll kind of report back about how that works and how that feels. But it's our first time in a hammam, and it's our first time with a working steam shower. We've stayed at other hotels where there was a steam shower, but like I think it's operator error where we don't know how to use it. But anyway, super excited to try this out. The toilet is not separated from the rest of the bathroom, but it is nestled in this little alcove. It has a heated seat and is equipped with a bidet. It is not a total wash slot, unfortunately, but definitely better than no bidet at all. Other goodies in the bathroom include towel warmers and a nice assortment of toiletries. But overall, that is the room tour. As you can see, I am very excited, and my expectations for this hotel was extremely high. And so far, from every interaction, from dropping our bags off, to check-in, to being shown up the elevator, to coming into here, to be meeting with our butler, everything has been world class. Like, An example, like a great example is that like when we were checking in, one of the bellmen was holding an elevator for us to go up. Once we got the elevator, there was already a butler was waiting there for us to show us the room, welcome us, and so on and so forth. So the handoff between hotel staff, the interactions that we've had so far, as well as obviously everything you've seen so far in terms of the hard product, what the room is like, the sheer amount of space that you get, the technology that is here. And one thing I forgot to mention is that there's literally an air purifier right here. Like, what kind of hotel, new or old, has an air purifier? Like, this is another great touch. I can go on even longer. So happy with this place so far. Absolutely amazed at everything we've been seeing. But there's more good stuff to come. We're gonna be seeing what their breakfast experience is like. The breakfast experience, I'm told, is amazing because it's at the 1 Michelin star Bougainville restaurant, which is very rare these days. But also, we will be eating at Bougainville for dinner. So we'll be sure to show you guys what that looks like. So I'll see you in the morning. So good.
After a jam-packed day in Amsterdam, we fall asleep in no time in this comfortable bed. Breakfast at Hotel 27 is served in the beautiful restaurant Bougainville on the 3rd floor. If you're a Hilton Diamond member, it is included for free in your room rate, and as you'll see shortly, this is one of the nicest complimentary breakfasts that we've enjoyed in any hotel. We were advised upon check-in and in our welcome letter to make a reservation for breakfast, but we had no issues getting seated immediately on all 3 days of our stay, and the restaurant was never very busy. If you have a free breakfast benefit, you get a budget of 45 euros per person, which you can spend on anything on the menu, and 45 euros goes pretty far here. To start with, you have a large selection of coffees, tea, and juice, and some alcoholic options. They can even make some drinks off menu. For example, I asked for a cold matcha latte, which they were happy to whip up. Kevin went for a pot of black tea. If you have only one morning to spend here, we recommend trying the extensive breakfast, which comes in at exactly 45 euros. This is basically a continental breakfast spread that they bring to your table. From left to right, we have a basket of bread, a bowl of fruit, a selection of cold cuts and cheeses, 4 different types of butter spreads, a selection of jams and Nutella, and a big basket of pastries. And don't forget the amuse-bouche, which consisted of a raspberry, apple, and tarragon shot, a brie and truffle sandwich, and chopped strawberries topped with mint and creme suisse. And if that isn't enough, you also get a glass of apple, orange, or peach juice to wash everything down. We tried our very best to finish as much of the breakfast as we could, but we still had a lot left over at the end. If you're staying here as part of a couple, you might want to order just one portion of the extensive breakfast because one serving is plenty to feed 2 people. Oh, and to top it all off, there is dessert! Yes, breakfast is a 3-course affair here. On the left is a creme brulee with caramelized sugar crumble served in a real eggshell, and on the left is a mini waffle with homemade jam. You can tell the ingredients here are all super high quality and that every dish was plated with care. We were totally stuffed by the end of the meal. Also, we must give a shout out to our amazing server Daisy and her colleagues. Every single employee we interacted with at breakfast were so friendly and warm yet efficient. After our first day here, they even remembered our drinks preferences. Although the extensive breakfast is an absolute feast, and in our opinion gives you the best bang for your buck, there are other a la carte options on the menu. So during tomorrow's breakfast, we will show you what some of the a la carte items look like. We returned later that evening to the same restaurant for dinner. We aren't the biggest fans of fine dining, so we decided to order off the a la carte menu this time just to try it out. We started with a variety of amuse-bouche. This one was a Dutch apple tartlet with kimchi cream. This was a mortadella with stracciatella in liquid nitrogen and pistachio cream. And this was a foie gras mousse. Finally, this course ended with a bowl of chawanmushi, which is a Japanese savory egg pudding. Since Kevin doesn't eat mushrooms, they subbed it with this savory herb sorbet for him. Don't let all the complicated descriptions put you off because each of these little bites were awesome and the flavors all worked really well. Next, for the appetizer, we ordered beef tartare with a generous helping of caviar. Before our mains came, they delivered some complimentary bread to the table with the same brown butter that we had at breakfast. I ordered the gado gado as my main, which is actually an appetizer here, but it was a decent amount of food, and between the starters and the bread and this, I actually got full. Kevin ordered the venison, which came seasoned with lovage oil and venison whiskey jus. It also came with a side of potato mousse, which I believe must just be the fancy way to say mashed potatoes, and some stewed deer neck meat. The service, like all other aspects of this hotel, was excellent. Our server was quite personable and quick to clear the table or ask if there was anything else we needed, but was not overly obtrusive. I feel like we only got a small glimpse of the culinary skills of this restaurant, and I can't wait to come back and try the tasting menu. Besides Bougainville, the only other dining option at this property is Bar 27, which is a cocktail bar that's quite popular but on the pricey end. Now that you've seen all the food options here, as well as what a one-bedroom suite at 27 looks like, let's take a look at one of the hotel's signature suites. So, now that you've seen what a base suite gets you in this hotel, let's show you one of the nicer upgrades. We paid an additional 460 euros on top of our original booking for a one-night upgrade to this rooftop stage suite. And let's show you around and you can tell us if you think it's worth the money. Over here, first when you step in is the closet area as well as a jacuzzi. The closet is quite similar to the one in our previous room, except that instead of having one little block of closet on each side, this one has it combined. But otherwise you have your standard hangers, safe, and a shoe shine box. I also like the design up there. It looks like it's a bunch of drawers, but I don't know who is tall enough, even if they're Dutch, to reach there. But if you can manage it, there's a ton of storage up there. Over here is this amazing jacuzzi with just like such a cool view outside. We are on the 6th floor, which is the tallest floor of this hotel, so that's why the roofs are all triangular. This jacuzzi is huge. The one in our previous suite was really comfy and big. It was like very comfortable for the two of us to take a bath together, but this one, I think you can literally have 4 people in here. Yeah. And of course, it has all your standard amenities that we've come to expect here. So the leak for the ladies and Lanvin for guys. And over here is this beautiful bed. I have never slept in a circular bed before, so I'm very excited to sleep here tonight. And I'm just gonna do the bed test right now because it looks so comfy. Oh wow, it feels very soft. Softer than yesterday's, but I think it's really comfy, so looking forward to sleeping here tonight. So across from the bed, of course, is another hidden TV, just like at our old suite. However, this one is not exactly facing the bed and it's quite a distance away. So I would say in that respect, I prefer the layout of our old suite. Over here, moving past the luggage racks, is the bathroom. Because this is a true suite, there is actually 2 toilets in this room. One is over here to my right, and the other is more of a guest toilet located near the door. I must say the sensor on this toilet is much better than the previous one because this one actually, the lid actually lifts up when you approach it. And the sink is very similar. It's actually pretty much identical as far as I can tell. So you've still got your dual vanity setup. And of course your shower is arrayed with the dual waterfall shower heads as well as the steam room function. Just outside of the bathroom is your mini bar. So this part of course looks very similar again to our other suite. It is the exact same layout. You've also got your mini fridge here with complimentary waters and then different snacks and alcohols in these 2 drawers. So from this angle, hopefully you guys can see just how spacious and how beautiful this suite is. Everything's like a triangle pyramidal shape. As I said before, that's because we're on the rooftop level. And these 2 light fixtures are really cool. The wallpaper is really nice. It's just stunning. Like, it somehow looks traditional but modern at the same time. So yeah, we really love the decor here. Now follow me up these steps to the living room area. This living room area is not separated by sliding doors, unlike our previous night's suite, but it is a lot bigger. There's a ton more seating. Like first you've got this really comfy, big and swivelly chair. And then you've got a sofa over here with a coffee table. This part is quite like our last room. you have another seating option over here with 4 more chairs and a dinner table, another TV over here, and finally this cozy nook. I don't know what it is, but something about this like triangular setup and the window over here just makes this corner feel so cozy. Like, I wish I brought my e-reader here so I could just cozy up here and read some books. That just seems like what this nook was designed for. This suite was so beautiful, and we're excited to spend our last night at 27 in this upgraded room. But let us know in the comments if you think this was worth a 460 euro upgrade. We also tested out both the jacuzzi and the hammam steam bath this evening, and they were luxurious. The perfect way to end another busy day exploring the city. The hammam even uses eucalyptus scented steam, which is so fancy. Now, as promised, before we check out, we'll have our final breakfast at Bougainville and show you some of the a la carte options. The American pancakes were super thick and fluffy and served with a side of bacon, creme suisse, blueberry confiture, and real maple syrup. The eggs benedict were quite delicious. I always appreciate when a restaurant uses brioche bread for their eggs benedict. I opted to add caviar for an extra 15 euros, which turned out to be a total waste of money because I couldn't taste it at all under the hollandaise sauce. The roasted mini wagyu steak was really good, but probably the most mediocre value for money because of how small the steak is. The shakshuka was not quite as good as the one we had in the Ritz-Carlton Alhambra Beach. You can check out our video on that property next. The eggs were completely cooked through, and I prefer my shakshuka eggs to be on the runny side, but the taste was not bad. And finally, we tried 2 of the regular egg dishes, scrambled and over easy. The scrambled eggs were the most disappointing of all the dishes we tried, extremely dry and extremely bland. The fried eggs were also bland, but cooked perfectly, so with a little added SMP, they were pretty good. Again, our server Daisy deserves another shout out here. During our first morning here, Kevin tried ordering pineapple juice, which was off the menu, and they didn't have it at the time, but by the next day, she had arranged with the chef to have pineapple juice and pineapple slices ready. The service here at breakfast is really above and beyond.
You may be wondering what it costs to stay at a property such as this. The prices can fluctuate depending on what time of year you're coming, but generally, this hotel goes for about 1,000 euros per night, or if you're booking with Hilton points, it's 150,000 Hilton points per night. I was so impressed with this stay that this is one of the rare hotels where I would recommend paying the cash rate just to experience what this hotel has to offer. For the cash rate, I've seen rates as low as 600 euros per night, which I frankly think is a steal.
So after our gushing review, you might be wondering if there are any downsides to this property. And the answer is yes, of course, but they are very minor and very nitpicky because that's all we can find to criticize. First, the 2 elevators are quite small and almost always busy. They are shared with hotel guests, IGC members, diners at the restaurant, and hotel staff. It's often faster to walk up 4 flights of stairs than wait for the elevator. The hotel's location in Dam Square can be a plus or a turnoff. Personally, I found its central location to be quite convenient, but Kevin did not like the constant crowds and noise outside. But again, we need to emphasize that this is a total non-issue once you're inside your hotel room, because the noise is totally insulated, and you should have no problems even if you're the lightest sleeper in the world. If you come by car, parking would also be quite inconvenient because there is no on-site parking. There is a valet service which costs 65 euros per day, which is really steep, and you need to arrange it 24 hours in advance. Finally, my last nitpick is that the toilet is a bit finicky. The bidet has a tendency to turn itself off too early. The lid is also supposed to lift automatically when it senses you approaching, but this didn't work about 80% of the time. That is literally it. As you can see, there's very, very little for us to criticize with this hotel. It was basically a perfect stay. A 10 out of 10 score from us. One last thing before we go, I wanted to give one more shout out to Frank at the Royal IGC. Because we were curious about the club that the hotel shares its building with, we asked our hotel concierge if they could arrange a quick tour. After a few days of back and forth, we were finally able to coordinate a time, and their employee Frank gave us a very informative and entertaining impromptu tour. We really enjoyed learning about the history of the club, which was originally founded in the 1700s. We even got to drink shots of vodka out of this Fabergé egg, and he also insisted that we try this whiskey, which is specially made for the club by a local distillery. So thank you, Frank, you're a real one. And it was a wonderful end to a wonderful hotel stay. Please tell us in the comments what you think of this hotel. Do you think it was worth the points that we paid? Would you want to stay here? Let us know. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.